Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to start a new topic. Before starting the new topic, we have a do not question. Simplify the expression. To be able to simplify all this expression, you need to factorize, and then we will simplify. Alright, let's find all the factor of each expression. We know this, x squared minus 49 can be written x minus 7 times x plus 7. What about 2x squared minus 3x minus 5? To be able to factorize this, you need to multiply the first and the last numbers, which means that 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. What are the factors of negative 10? When you find two factors, when you multiply those, you will get negative 10. When you add them up, you will get negative 3. So negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. When you add them up, which is equal to negative 3. After that, we need to rewrite the expression according to my factors. 2x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 5. After that, I am going to use grouping method. If you group it, what is the greatest common factor into the first parenthesis, which is 2x? Then you will get the expression x plus 1. What is the greatest common factor in the second parenthesis, which is negative 5? And then you will get x plus 1, x plus 1, x plus 1 are common factor, and then you will get 2x minus 5. So these are the factor of this expression. So over x plus 1 times 2x minus 5 divided by x squared minus x minus 42. What is the factor of this? What are the factors of this expression? X minus 7 times x plus 6 over, what about denominator? X plus 6 times x plus 1. To be able to simplify, we are going to use keep change flipped. So x minus 7 times x plus 7 over x plus 1 times 2x minus 5. Now, if we apply the keep change flip, division is going to become multiplication, and then flip the second fraction. If we flip it over, you will get x plus 6 over x plus 6 times x plus 1 over x minus 7 times x plus 6. Now we can simplify the expression, common expression. X plus 6 over x plus 6 is equal to 1. X minus 7 will be simplified. X plus 1 will be simplified. When you multiply numerator times numerator, you will get x plus 7 because only x plus 7 left in numerator, over in denominator there's only one expression which is left, 2x minus 5. So this is your simplest form of this expression. Today we are going to learn transformation of the trigonometric function. To be able to understand what transformation the trigonometric function has, you need to know general form of the transformation. What does that mean? F of x is going to be a times sine or cosine. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take the sine function, any trigonometric function. B times x minus h plus k. What does a, b, h, and k stand for? A stand for, whenever you have a trigonometric function in this form, you can understand A stand for vertical stretch or compression. On the other hand, this is going to stand for amplitude. B stands for horizontal stretch or compression. and this is going to change period of trigonometric function. What does h stand for? If h is greater than 0, then this is going to become horizontal shift to the left. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen, this is tricky. If h is less than 0, then this is going to be horizontal shift as well to the right. On the other hand, we can also call horizontal shift phase shift. You will see that. And the last one is vertical, which means that k. If k is greater than 0, it's going to vertical shift. If because of this greater than, shift to the up. If k is less than 0, then this is going to become vertical shift k units to the down. Alright, this is basically what transformation of the trigonometric function is. In this slide, we are going to sketch the graph. This is a transformed function. To be able to graph the transformed function, first you need to figure out what is the original function of this trigonometric function. Y is equal to cosine x is the parent function. Sometimes you can see main function as well. Alright, to be able to understand the graph, make a table first for parent function. I am going to give these values negative pi over 2, 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. If you give these values, you will understand that if you give the negative pi, you will get negative 1. You can also use the graphing calculator as well. If you substitute negative pi over 2 into the function, you will get 0. If you give 0, you will get positive 1. If you give the pi over 2, you will get 0. If you give the pi, you will get negative 1. If you give 3 pi over 2, you will get 0. If you give the 2 pi, you will get positive 1. Alright, let me graph this first. So this is your coordinate plane. My values is negative pi over 4, negative pi over 2, and negative pi. So this is going to be 0, this is going to be pi over 4, this is going to be pi over 2, and this is going to be pi, and this is going to be 3 pi over 2, and this is going to be 2 pi. Alright, now we are going to graph this. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen, what is the general form of the transformed function? Y is equal to a times sine or cosine b times x minus h plus k. When you compare this with this, can you please tell me what does a is? 3, which means that your amplitude is 3. In the original function it was 1, but in the transformed function amplitude is going to be 3. After that, what is the b? B is 1, so b is 1 as well, so there's no change in period. No change in period. And then there's no k is equal to 0. What about h? H is equal to negative pi over 4, which means that you are going to sorry, this is positive pi over 4. You are going to shift all the function pi over 4 to the left. This is horizontal shift. All right, let me graph original function first. If we give, this is negative 1, this is positive 1, positive 2, and positive 3. This is negative 1, this is negative 2, and this is negative 3. So if we give the negative pi, it's going to be negative 1 here. If we give negative pi over 2, is going to be 0. If we give 0, it's going to be positive 1. If we give pi over 2, it's going to be 0 as well. If you give the pi, then you will get negative 1. If you give the 3 pi over 2, it's going to be 0. And if you give the 2 pi, it's going to be positive 1. When you connect the points, you will get that this is going to be original function, the graph of the original function cosine x. Now, what is happening? Because of multiplying by 3 the whole function, the amplitude is going to be 3. All right, and then each function is going to move to the left. So what does that mean? This function is going to shift. This function is going to shift pi over 4 to the left. So pi over 4 left, then this 0 is going to become here. After that, this function is going to shift to the pi over 4, but amplitude is going to be 3. So that's why this is going to be your next point. This function is going to move to the pi over 4 to the left. 0 times 3, then this is going to be 0 as well. So this point is going to shift pi over 4, and then your function is amplitude is going to be 3. This point is going to move to the left, and this is going to be 0. The last one, this is going to be move pi over 4 left, shifted pi over 4 left, and your number is going to be 3 because your amplitude is 3. Now let's connect them. The green one is going to become the graph of transform function. Here we go. So this is the graph of y is equal to 3 times cosine x plus pi over 4. Each function, each point in the original function move pi over 4 left.